But you know what, though? It's funny because we're seeing just like this whole community of people who are kind of just waking up, finding their voice and demanding to make time for themselves again. That it hasn't been a priority for so long. And, they're waking back up and they're making it a priority.
Hey, I'm Allison Hare, and welcome to Culture Changers, the podcast that brings you unconventional wisdom by uncommon people. Together, we are shattering old paradigms to reshape our world and inviting you to make your own mark.
Hey, it's Allison. Hey, if this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if it's not, welcome back. It means so much to me that you've returned. Okay, today you are in for such a treat. Do you know anyone who is into dance or fitness or thinking about getting more active in their lives? If so, please take a moment right now and share this episode. It is awesome. And if you've been watching me online for the past 6 months or so, you might have seen some crazy dance videos that I've been posting. And I've had more people reach out to me to ask, what is that and how can I try it? And I'm always happy to oblige, but I have to tell you a quick story. And I am not very athletic. I mean, ever since I was a kid, nobody wanted me on their team. I wish I had some cool stories of breaking records on a long jump or even catching a ball, like once. But alas, I was always picked last for obligatory gym teams. I sucked at every sport imaginable. I still do, actually. And I'm terribly uncoordinated and not very fast. But I saw a challenge on Instagram last December from Jesse Itzler. And Jesse is a super unconventional ultramarathon runner and a whole lot of other monikers, but he's founded this ridiculously skyrocketing and loyal community called Build Your Life Resume. And as the name suggests, it really is about pushing yourself beyond what you think is possible and creating a life of real significance. Side note, this podcast, Culture Changers, will be one of the very few podcasts selected to be on his new online station called BYLR Radio, launching this month. But anyway, his challenge was he did like a giveaway. And he had a challenge that somebody could enter or offer suggestions to come to Atlanta, where he lives, and learn something crazy with him and suggest something fun. So I started to think about all this stuff that he likes. He likes running and hiking and physical challenges and things that are pushing way, way, way beyond boundaries physically, cold plunges, etc. But then I stopped. And that pause really changed my life. And I stopped and thought, wait, what do I want to learn? What is something I've always wanted to learn, but just never did? And do you know how I answered his challenge? So I wrote, I've always wanted to learn a sick and fully choreographed, complicated dance routine. I mean, think about it. Whenever I would watch Dancing with the Stars or So You Think You Can Dance, I thought, if I was locked in a room with a pro for over a few weekends, I could totally learn that. I am sure you felt that too. So it kind of planted a seed, and I had a little more flexibility the very last week of the year in December and was searching on ClassPass for a new class to try. And I read the description of this dance class at Dance 101 in Atlanta. The dance class was called Rebel Groove. And I remember it said, don't worry, you'll start to pick up the moves after the third class. And I thought, okay, wow, that took the pressure off of me knowing what I was doing, so I wasn't as intimidated as I would be otherwise. So I went to this class on a whim, and I was way in the back of a packed, hot, sweaty class. And the music was loud, the lights were low, and I just figured I would just follow the best I can. Well, something crazy happened. And in the middle of the class, I started to feel this intense release. And y'all, I am wound so tight. A release is a big deal for me. And then I felt this powerful sense of joy and movement. And I had no idea what I was doing, but It was like this crazy dopamine hit. It was awesome. And I don't know my left foot from my right, and I knew my life was changing right then and there. This was no ordinary dance class. Well, turns out I was right. Once I started stalking the instructor, Ashleigh, online and going down the deep rabbit hole of Rebel Fitness, it turns out she is the co-founder of a passionately loyal fitness juggernaut that is changing lives, bodies, hearts, and connecting people nationwide, whether in a studio or online on demand. And seriously, go to the show notes of my webpage and look at the crazy before and afters of what happens in the Rebel community. I had to interview them. But before I get into my interview, I have to fast forward the story to something I'm so proud of. I set 3 goals for myself for 2020. 2 of them went bye-bye thanks to COVID, but one was to learn a really hard choreographed dance routine. Well, just a couple weeks ago, I got certified to become a Rebel Fitness dance instructor. Y'all, I am 45 years old, no dance background, 2 left feet. It has been a sanity saver throughout COVID, and I've been doing it 4 to 5 times a week. I never even imagined I would have the time to be able to do that, but when you find something you love so much, you start to reorganize your life to do it more. And that's exactly what happened. So my mission now, I can't keep all this joy to myself. It gives me pure pleasure to introduce this format and this community to others. And it's such a game changer. I love to see people with their lights turned on and their bodies changing, their minds changing, and that addiction that comes along with, wow, I need to feel this more. I need to feel this more. And I think because we don't always give ourselves permission to feel so good, this is kind of my offering now. And it's been so exciting. So if you want to try it out, go to rebelfit.com. Now, Rebel is spelled a little bit different. It's REB3LFIT. So REB3LFIT. There are 3 founders, REB3L. And I think that's why it is. And get a free month by using the code AHARE. So Allison, AHARE. It's linked in the show notes. And while you're hanging out in the show notes, click on the link to sign up for my blog so you can stay connected with me throughout the week. Okay, here is my chat with Ashleigh Hughes and Tricia Cremeans. So I'm so excited. I'm going to fangirl for just a second. So I'm here with Tricia Cremeans. Did I say that right?
You did.
And Ashleigh Hughes. They are 2 of the 3 co-founders of Rebel Fitness. So if any of you follow me on Instagram and you see all of these crazy dance videos that have all of a sudden started popping up, these are the ladies that founded this. And it is an online fitness program, but also in person. And this community that I have found. So I wanted to tell you how I found Rebel Fitness and Rebel Groove, which is the name of this dance class. So I wake up at 4:30 in the morning on purpose. And I've got, I have to kind of add that.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. Because of the way my schedule is, I have 5 to 5:30 a.m. is my time when I can work out. So I work out with a trainer, and the trainer was off on vacation the last week of December. And I was like, I have a little more flexibility. Let me just do what I really want to do because I don't have that limitation of just 5 to 5:30. So I was like, let me just go try dance. And so I went to Dance 101, and I saw in the description where it said, don't worry, by the 3rd time you go, you'll start to get the moves. And I'm like, okay, cool, because it almost let me kind of off the hook a little bit.
Right.
And I was like, let me just try it. So I get there, and then Ashleigh is teaching the class. And I'm like, this girl's probably in her 20s, maybe 30s. Probably never had kids with a body like that. And she's probably been dancing her whole life. So it was a very different kind of dance class, and different that it is dark, the music's loud, and there's no instruction.
Right.
And because of the description saying you'll get it by the 3rd try, it told me that I didn't have to know the moves.
Yes.
And something insane happened, like really a visceral reaction happened in about the middle of the class.
And I started to get this rush where it felt like the biggest release I have ever felt in my life. And I am always chasing a release because I'm a busy gal. I put a lot on my plate and I'm very, very wound tight.
Yeah.
And so I'll go to like kickboxing. I'll go to play racquetball. I'll go play ping pong at work just to kind of get some energy out. But nothing was like this. But not only did I have that kind of release as a mother who is working and kind of taking care of things, I started to feel this unbelievable sense of joy that I hadn't felt in any other way. And something happened where it was so profound that I'm like, I need to sit with this because this is not normal. This is not like you just go to a dance class and it's kind of fun. This is like life altering.
Yes.
And I promise I'll let you guys talk, or you can just hang out.
I love hearing this.
Very good.
Well, because you're explaining things that both of us have experienced, which is why we created the format. But we love hearing this from our community. We call them Rebel Nation.
This stuff keeps
Rebel
us
Nation.
inspired and motivated.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I only have 5 to 5:30 in the morning, right? And now I'm going 4 or 5 times a week in the most inconvenient times. I have arranged my schedule. And
We've heard that a few times from our from the people who've been taking our classes. We love that.
I feel like it's a
rearrange
mental
their
health thing.
days,
Yeah.
their work schedules, their time with their families or date nights with their husband.
All of it. Vacations.
But you know what? Though it's funny because we're seeing just like this whole community of people who are kind of just waking up, finding their voice and demanding to make time for themselves again. That it hasn't been a priority for so long. And, they're waking back up and they're making it a priority. And so, and I love that you're kind of just like, this is the only time I have. Well, no, it's not. That, I can make whatever time I want. Like it's my prerogative to do that, and this is important to me. And I'm going to do this,
and you show up for other people better in your life when
really
you're
do.
happy and getting this release that you're talking about.
Well, you're not on autopilot anymore.
Yeah.
And I asked my husband, I'm like, honey, is it okay if I go Wednesday night? And he's like, yeah, go. You're so happy. You're so much happier.
And I love that. Yeah, I love that he's supportive of that because that's
great.
huge. It's huge.
So I started to read up on your both of your biographies and Angela's too. So there are 3 co-founders. I have 2 of them here in Atlanta and one is in Colorado. Is that where Angela is too?
Yeah.
And so I know that this kind of started with you, Ashleigh, or at least the dance class. So I'd love to hear more about your story of how this came about.
Okay. Wow. Yes. So for me, I had I have 2 boys, almost 14 and 11. And after I had the second one, I had put on a little weight. I was like 31 and just things weren't bouncing back like they had. I thought I needed to do something, but I had never worked out before. And
so you'd never had any dance experience?
No.
Not a workouter?
Neither of us
Is
have.
that even a word?
Yeah.
Not a fitness gal?
No fitness.
We were not gym rats.
Yeah, no motivation to do any kind of fitness. Just drink beers and like eat wings and party and hang out and take care of my kids and stuff like that. It's pretty laid back. And then also, no dance, just like maybe some tap when I was like 4 years old, but nothing, no real training. But I always loved music. Like music has always moved me. And I always, when I was young, I would go in my basement by myself and like turn off the lights and do like a spotlight with a flashlight with my friends and stuff too. And we'd make up dances to like Janet Jackson and Madonna and Michael Jackson and all those people from the 80s. I always loved music. So my mom actually became single and she wanted to get in shape. So she was like, so there's this class and it was Zumba, a Zumba class. She's like, do you want to come with me? And so I went to this class with my mom and it was a wild class. It was amazing though. Like just like what you're saying, like I was in there and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Because this girl that I actually ended up following for years, she was just like electric up there. Like she had the passion, she had the drive and the music and everything. And it was horrific. My first class, like I was in the back row, like lost and could not breathe and all those things that, most people experience when they first come to a class. But it was like, oh my gosh, I got to go back. I got to do that again
So I ended up, my mom hated it, by the way. Side note. Yeah. She was like, what is this? It was like hardcore Atlanta rap. She's like, get me out of here. I'm out. Yeah, I just ended up going back and following this instructor around. It kind of, ended up after a couple of years, like close to the front, but had never been in front, like teaching a song or, leading. And I honestly would have never become an instructor. Like it never even was anything that really ever crossed my mind. I don't think I thought I could do it. And she was just so great. I was really happy, and there was some community and friends and things like that. And then we ended up moving to Colorado. So we moved to Colorado for really no reason other than that my husband wanted to move there to like be with like mountains. Like,
yeah.
There was no job or anything. And so I really went against my will. I did not want to go. When I got there, I started looking for a dance fitness class. And I took all the different instructors in the area and none of them were doing it for me. I'm like, where is this class that I need? Because it was the only thing I'd ever done that I actually
stuck
with.
It's like an addiction too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I started thinking, man, like I know probably an hour's worth of songs. Maybe I should just get certified to teach a class and see what happens. And if it's just me in the class, then at least I'm moving and getting my workout. But I ended up going to a training. It was definitely a leap for me. And actually there was a studio owner there and she came up to me and she was like, hey, do you need a job? It's like, yeah, I do. So I ended up going to the studio and I think I went to like the first class. I think it was Karen's class I went to. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is a cool place, cool studio. I liked it. And then I got a call about a week later asking me to sub a class first. And I was so scared and I did not want to say yes, but I knew I had to say yes because if I didn't, then you let the fear hold you back and you're never going to move forward, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that I'd already gotten certified at this point. Let's just say yes to it all. So I said yes, showed up to teach that first class. I mean, man, I practiced for hours in the bathroom, like queuing to myself in the bathroom, trying to figure out how to even lead a class. And it was terrible. The first class was awful. It was like 8 people. I remember I walked out and the
8 people sounds pretty good for a first time.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't too bad, but they were all kind of, I mean, it was good. And the studio owner was like, man, that was crickets. That was pretty like low key in there. And I'm like, well, yeah. So anyways, I loved it. I just like almost got like bitten by it. Like I just thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be better and I'm going to do more. And just started pouring myself into it and making that commitment to myself that I wanted to do it and I wanted to be better. And then there's a whole story like that includes her from here. So I feel like this is kind of how we do it in our training. I start here and then like pause and like hand it over to her.
I can't wait.
And then we come back to
Tricia's got a crazy story.
How I stumbled into the fitness industry was really, I just like with Ashleigh, neither one of us have a background in fitness or in dance. And we just stumbled into it for different reasons. For her, it was, the move and having to create a community for herself in a very difficult life situation. And same thing for me. It just looked a little bit different. I am a mother of 4 boys. I was a stay-at-home mom for 16 years. I homeschooled my children for 10 years.
God bless you. You were homeschooled too, right?
I was from 3rd grade through high school.
Wow.
I grew up in a very conservative home and I was part of a very conservative church. And because of that, we just didn't dance. And also, same thing with clothing, very conservative, very, modest.
This is hilarious, by the way. I get the whole rebel thing.
The funny thing is, though, when we talk about the name Rebel, it was very intentional naming it that, because we are really, not only is the format rebelling against the status quo of what is in the fitness industry right now, and that includes, we teach with the lights off, we blare the music really loud, we take the microphones off, we don't yell at our students.
There's no instruction.
No,
right.
Well, there's instruction in the form of nonverbal cueing. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want people in the back row to get completely lost and frustrated. There is a way to instruct without yelling at people, because the whole point of what we do is to make it not feel like working out. It is to create almost an alternate and like, I don't want to say, we want to transport our students, once they walk through that door into another place, because of everyone in that room has a story. We want to create an environment, an atmosphere where people can forget about being in a class with other people, which is why we turn the lights off, because we want that intimidation factor to go away. With dancing can be very intimidating, and that environment.
But that part's huge, Tricia.
It is huge.
We found that don't go to dance class because it feels so intimidating. They're afraid that they're going to go the wrong move or squat at the wrong time.
When you turn the lights off, people forget the whole, it's an inhibition thing that the inhibitions wash away because you aren't constantly thinking about how people are staring at you, watching you, judging you. Mm-hmm. None of that is in that room at that point. And then we turn the music up really loud so that we get lost in the music. And what that does is, again, for you, it was just like this high, this release. And we have found that it's just this way for people to get back in touch with who they are, or maybe just start peeling off the layers like an onion, just peeling off the layers and finding, who they really are when they maybe didn't know, and finding their voice. And there's just this freedom in it. And then it also ignites creativity as well. And a lot of these, a lot of our students, the demographic is, mothers. And I think you devote yourself, like Ashleigh was saying, so much to your family, which is not a bad thing. But in the process of that, you sort of lose who you are, or never had an opportunity to know who you were. So for me, I got married very young, and I had kids very young. My oldest is going to be 20 in April.
So insane.
And then I have a senior, 17. He's graduating this year, 14-year-old freshman, and then 8-year-old third grader. All boys. A lot of testosterone in my house.
A lot of testosterone.
Yeah. And then my, at the time, husband was also, he started working from home. So it was a lot of boys in my house. Anyway, I became pregnant with my fourth one. He was 6 years after the rest, because it's like, let's try for the girl. It was not a girl. But that pregnancy was very different. I was given a diagnosis with him that was pretty fatal. I was given a statistic with this diagnosis of all pregnancies, only 1% of pregnancies have this diagnosis. And of that, 93% medically terminate that pregnancy because the prognosis is really bad. When you're given that kind of news, it kind of shakes up your world a little bit. It was very early on. It was at 9 weeks, it was just confirming the pregnancy kind of ultrasound. And then they found the problem right away. And they call in another doctor. And that's when you know something's going on. And then you're brought into a room and you're given this news. And then what do you do with that? I went into this place where I'm struggling even with acknowledging I'm pregnant at that point, because if you're going to lose this baby, there's a lot that happens in your head, a lot of soul searching, a lot of screaming at God, a lot of trying to figure out what's going on. I went through a really dark place, but I came to a place where it's like, you know what? He's fighting for his life, and I'm going to fight with him. So followed the pregnancy through and saw him get stronger. And I had decided within myself, you know what? He's fighting. I'll fight with him, and I'll deal with whatever is on the other side of this. And I had a peace about it. But then he was born. He's actually been written up in a medical journal, because with what he had, it was a cystic hygroma, and there can be so many causes for that. When he was delivered, he still had some of the hygroma on his neck. I mean, he was 9 pounds. Healthy kid. They whisked him away to check him out, and they're trying to find, they saw the hygroma obviously, and they knew what they were dealing with, but they were trying to figure out, is it Downs? What is it? And he was fine. That's amazing. Healthy. The hygroma receded within a week. So kind of fast forward a little bit to after going through all of that, getting home, I went through a pretty dark place because, after all of that, I think you just plow through life when you have to, and then things get quiet. And then you're left with all of the feelings that you haven't really dealt with yet. And I had also gained a lot of weight. Through my journey, I've lost almost 50 pounds. Wow. But I was dealing with a lot of depressed feelings, emotions, unhappy with the way I looked, unhappy with trying to figure out what my purpose was in life. I just a lot of questioning and also just not feeling good. I was reading a book to my kid on the floor, and I get up and it's like throwing my back out, just trying to get up off the floor. I'm like, what has happened to me? So it was bad. I got to this place where I was like, I feel like I need to do something. I need to do something to change my life. Like I'm not happy. This is not working out for me anymore. I feel like I'm dying inside and I have to deal with this. And really it was, mental more than physical. I needed something to like just save me. And I had a lot of stress in my life at the time too, because again, it's a big responsibility, and homeschooling and all of that. So, it's a lot. I'm in the house a lot. And I think there comes a point too where you just feel a little suffocated as well. And you just I hadn't done anything for myself, I don't think ever, because I got married so young and had kids so young. So I started thinking I need to get healthier. My time away from the house was like Starbucks, and the Starbucks was making me fat. Like, there was something more than that. Like, I feel like I need to do something else. But then my neighbor, who had recently become a certified fitness instructor, asked me to go to a dance fitness class with her, and because she was going to be subbing it, and she's like, it was a Zumba class. She's like, hey, would you go with me? And I'm like, sure. So I went to the class with her, and it was awful. I was going left when everyone was going right. And, I had a lot more weight on me, and everything shook in a really bad way. And I just kept looking at my watch like, dear God, when is this class going to be over? And then it was over. And I was like, I'm never doing that again. It was awful. And then like 3 days later, I was like, I kind of liked it. Like something was starting to awaken in me. And so I decided to go again the following week. And same thing, I was huffing and puffing because I was so out of shape. My experience with the gym was, nursing all my kids, watching 12 seasons of The Biggest Loser, eating potato chips on the couch. Like that's what my experience in fitness was.
That's like all of America, by the way.
Well, I like to tell people that because they automatically think that this is something that we've done. We're just like everyone else in our class.
All the instructors I've met, nobody has a dance background.
Right?
Isn't that funny?
Insane.
We only have a couple that have it.
Yeah, only a few. Third weekend, my friend couldn't make it. I was so disappointed because it was really the first time in my life that I had done something for myself. And I was really looking forward to going. And I didn't want to go by myself. But she backed out. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go anyway. But there was a studio in town that I kept driving past called Hot Fitness, and there was a banner in the window, Zumba classes. I'm like, I'm intrigued. I kind of want to try this place, and so maybe tonight's a good time. So I called the studio and I said, hey, do you have a Zumba class tonight? And they're like, yeah, we do. Oh, and you'll love the instructor. Her name is Ashleigh. So I wandered in.
This is what, 2012?
Yeah.
2012.
It was 2012.
Yeah.
I wandered into the studio. She's like buzzing around and checking people in her cute little like tasseled cargo pants and pigtails. I think pretty sure you had the little pigtails.
Princess Leia.
Yes.
Buns.
Super cute. A lot of energy. Super nice. And, this is the first time I've ever really walked into fitness place on my own. I walk in there, the music's pumping. So I find my place in the back row in the corner. Like I was that back row girl in the corner, like, don't look at me. And the class started and there was just like this different energy. It just really, I had a much different feel in this class. It felt different. Her energy was different and it just grabbed me. Just something clicked with us. Like it just vibed. I kept going to her class and I kept going. And I just had I'm very competitive with myself, slowly moving to the center and then slowly moving forward. And at the time getting to know Ashleigh, and long story short, and this has been a long story, but started dancing next to her. She kept encouraging me to become certified in the format and start instructing because she saw something there. And the difficulties in my own personal life, instructing was not happening. But she and I started working together anyway, and she was letting me choreograph songs and do them in her class with her. And then eventually the studio asked me to start instructing, and about a year later I did. But then the studio closed only about a month. Was it about a month after I started instructing?
Yeah, the little studio closed, and we thought it was the end of the world. We thought it was. And this has shown up a few times in our story here where we feel like everything is coming to an end and it's just going to be over. But then when that door closed, the window opened, and we ended up getting picked up at another little sort of boutique gym in the area. And then it got even bigger and grew more. And
well, the way that Groove was even created was when I became certified, and we started teaching together. What we were teaching was not what would be considered legit Zumba.
And we heard that.
What was the name of your class when you started out?
When I started out, I got certified in Zumba. So it was Zumba. But
before Rebel, what was the name?
Well, it was Groove. So because Zumba, everybody would say to us, like, this isn't Zumba. And we're like, well, we don't know what else to call it. And that's the only thing I was certified in at the time. I wasn't like a group fit instructor. I thought so. It was just sort of like the legit thing. But then, we had to change it.
Well, we were like, Zumba was 70% Latin, 30% international music, and they were really cracking down at the time. And we decided, you know what, our students love what we're doing. We're not going to change, and we loved it. I mean, because it's a very emotional thing. Choreographing and music and all that is very, deeply emotional, and you have to be able to connect with it to be able to do it.
It's a form of like artistic expression.
It's our voice. I mean, a lot of these songs that you hear that we choreograph, like some of them are super angry and some of them are just fun and sexy, and it's really how we're feeling at the time.
I think what's so funny about the music is that they're so raunchy in some of them, and that at first I'm like, wow, did they just say pussy about 12 times? And then all of a sudden it gets fun and cute. Like you just learn the moves.
I know.
It's just sort of like, it's just kind of like the many moods of Ashleigh and Tricia, just like all wrapped up into an hour.
It's funny too, though, because we try to steer from the super derogatory. Right. I mean, because obviously that's, not something we're fond of, but most of the songs are just like that. And so we're trying to be a little bit more.
We definitely have something available for everybody. And we
become endearing, though. I think once you kind of get
it's so funny
because to the moves and the music.
I know.
It's funny.
Well, it's funny.
You don't have to be like apologetic for it. You have like permission to be here and just do what you want to do and
let your hair down.
Yeah.
Let your hair down. Have fun. It's a dance class.
I have to ask. So let me pause for a second on the hair. Do you guys teach your instructors to not pull their hair back?
Isn't that funny?
No, we don't.
It makes a huge impact of just the sexiness. Like, I'll tell you from my perspective, I don't feel very sexy, but I'm trying as hard as I can to just be loose. And so sometimes I'll just wear it down just to see if I can move my neck in a way.
Yeah.
It is. There's like a little piece of that's fun. And it's funny because that started, I don't know when, but I want to say that like, maybe sometime in Colorado. I don't know, because we didn't used to do that. We always wore hats and had our hair up. And then somewhere along the way, we ended up wearing our hair down. And now it's funny because it like wipes the sweat off my face, as I'm like, if I don't have my hair down, if it's like up, I'm just like pouring.
Well, I think it kind of lends to, Rebel Nation has a look. When I teach in a gym environment and everyone knows the Rebels. There's a look to it. I mean, we have a clothing line as well, which kind of assists in that. But there's this, people dress up for it. They put makeup on, hairs down.
Kind of like street and urban and kind of.
They like get ready for these classes and it's kind of cool because it's become such an event in their life that they treat it as such. There was somebody that joked with us one time about, I put on mascara for this class. I don't even put on mascara when I go on a date with my husband. Like that's the kind of comments we get. But there's this thing about, when you're dressing for something that's, they always say dress for success. Like there's this intentionality with the whole thing. And we're just seeing that with
it's
all these
self-care too. Like when you're staring at yourself in the mirror for an hour and you're wearing like frumpy,
feel sexy
fluorescent lights and you're like, oh, like don't look good, don't feel good. But if you're like dressed up and you're
dressing up like they're going to the club,
you're feeling yourself, you're like, all right, you're going to feel a little sexier, work a little harder.
And it does amazing things. We watch these people in our classes transform before our eyes. I mean, you would not believe some of these transformations, not just physically, but
emotionally,
mentally with these people just finding their inner sexy, finding their inner strength. These women in our
form of therapy.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who I brought to class. Her name is Paige. Shout out to Paige. But she came and she saw the videos, and on any given day, you'll see I'll have a little mom army of people that come. Yes. But this girl, Paige, came and she's like, I've been looking for a workout. I've been doing boot camps and things, but I don't really like it. And I've been watching this. And then she did the class and she's like, Oh my God, I bet my husband would feel much better about me moving like this than doing 60 burpees, you know? And I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, we hear people say like my husband likes that song. I guess like they're doing it at home or something for him, like Rodeo, the new song.
Yeah, they're like, what class are you going to? This is in a gym? What? Yeah, but it's so fun to watch them just really tap into, like digging down deep and like dusting off these parts of their life that they have forgotten about, and feeling young and feeling sexy again. And it really does make a difference. It's in all aspects of their life, not just, physically. But
I think it's like an awakening, I know it was for me. Like I literally woke me up. I don't think I even really knew who I was before this. I'm like a recovering people pleaser. Like I kind of one of those people that just wants to say yes to everything and to make other people happy, and end up like getting in a situation myself because I do want to do other things to make people happy. And so you just wake up to something and you're like, wow, it's huge.
And you kind of find your edge too,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also I think for me too, I always say this because I am so hyper and like can't sit very long, clearly. I'm over here moving around all the time. This is what I do.
I love that you put your feet up on the couch.
I know. I'm like, let me get comfortable.
Well, you can always tell what kind of person I'm interviewing. Like some people will take their shoes off, sit down, relax.
About that too.
And like, some people will be more, kind of buttoned up and, on the edge of a couch. So I appreciate when people kind of lie down and just do whatever makes them feel comfortable,
Okay, good. I'm gonna take a nap over here. So for me, I feel like it's almost like a piece of like meditating, because I do have a hard time sitting still and like doing the whole meditation thing. For me, my head's moving. I'm like,
I reject meditation too.
Yeah. Yes. I heard you say that before on one of your podcasts.
I try. I know it's something, it is a practice. I need to figure it out, but I respond really well to movement. And I wonder if you and I are similar in that way.
It's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
Nobody says to meditate, you have to be still. I mean, I believe there's all different kinds of
It is, because meditating is being present in the moment that you're in and not thinking about anything else. And when I'm doing Rebel classes, when I'm there teaching or I'm in it, that's the only time of the day that I'm not thinking about what I have to do or what's happened or whatever. And I'm actually present in that moment and thinking only about that very moment. And that is meditation. And so I think that that's a big thing for a lot of people too.
When you're in that headspace, it allows you to really dig deep and discover who you are, when during the day you're doing all these different things and you just never go there in your head. You're just too busy. It's too noisy. And I think that's what happened. With me, I truly found my voice and my strength, which I didn't.
What is your strength?
Just that I had a strength. I think that,
did you not feel strong? I mean, a mother of 4, homeschooling your children. It sounds like you might have had some strength that was inherent in there.
Yeah, I think you don't look at it that way, though. I think you look at it as like, for me, it was almost like just the community that I was brought up in, the homeschooling, conservative.
Are your parents embarrassed? Are they?
I get asked that a lot.
Yeah.
So here's the situation.
Are they disappointed?
No. So I struggled personally with what I was doing, even the dance thing.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of guilt.
There was a lot of breaking through of all of this stuff that I had been brought up to believe. And I felt like I was doing something wrong. Like I wasn't even allowed to do this, listen to this music, dance, any of it, dress in leggings even. Like all of it was a huge mental shift. I went through and still going through what I call deconstruction, which is just kind of just breaking everything down, getting rid of all of this stuff that's in my head and building myself back up. And so it's been quite a process, and it was very difficult in the beginning, but I will say that this is the first time in my life, and this is how I know that I'm on the right path, is I am more like myself as a child than I ever was as an adult. Like I felt like I was playing the role that I was told to play.
Same.
What does that mean? Explain that.
I think that you're of a lot of expectations.
All the shoulds. Like you should do this, you should do that. It's all of that.
And being expected to be this person. Like this is what is expected of you in your life. This is the role that you should be playing. And during that entire time in my life, I never felt like myself. I always felt like very uneasy. And like I had to try really, really hard to be somebody. And I remember feeling like that just like it was nagging to me, like this isn't right, something feels wrong. But now just even like teaching, it's so effortless, and I don't feel like I'm playing a role anymore. It's like I walk in there and this is where I'm supposed to be. That's been hugely eye-opening for me as an adult. And I truly feel like now it's hard to explain, but it's like I'm channeling my inner child, like who I was before I became all of these other things. I'm back to that person. That's been my journey.
Is that how you feel when you teach?
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
as your place in the world, do you feel like you are kind of living your truth or living your essence kind of thing?
Absolutely. And I would say when I was growing up, and even at a very young age, I remember thinking, and I've thought about this recently, that I wanted to do something that made an impact. And I didn't know what that was, but I always felt like I had this higher calling, which is why I feel like when I went through what I went through with my son, and it really set me back on my heels and brought me back to this place of, do you remember back when you wanted to make an impact in this world? And what is it now that you're doing? And so it's so funny now because we're seeing, an impact being made on other people in our classes. We get letters and messages and texts and calls.
Those must be amazing. So you have this Rebel community. So there are like over 10,000 followers on Instagram. And then there's like this Rebel Nation that's got like 5,000 or a couple thousand. And there are people getting Rebel tattoos on their bodies. I mean, this is like...
Could you believe that? We're like, we
love
don't
it,
even have tattoos yet.
I know. I was like, wow.
They beat us to that.
Allison, that's when shit gets real. You're like, whoa.
That's like...
So I looked at Ashley, I'm like, what's going on?
Y'all really do have a responsibility to kind of continue this. Like, it's not like I don't feel like it.
Yeah. No, we don't have.
And I think that's something too. Like, it is so, like when you were saying your story, it's like we love to hear these things because it does inspire us and it motivates us, because we're like we were yesterday at the studio, 8 hours like physical work and exhausting, and our bodies hurt, and we're like falling on the floor. Yeah, I know it gets worse and worse. We're like, I think the ibuprofen's wearing out. If it's been 8 hours, we need to take more. But I mean, sometimes even though it's a passion and it's a drive and we love it, I mean, sometimes it's exhausting. We're like, oh my gosh, it can be grueling. And so when we hear these stories and when we go to our trainings and we hear from people like you, it gives me chills, like even talking about it, because it's like a reset. It's like, this is why we're doing this. It's just so important. And that's why we love to hear that stuff.
So let me ask you about, we have a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this show. I mean, obviously these are culture changers. So these are people that are really doing some incredible things. At what point did you decide to make this a business and a brand that is national? And you guys have a lot of components about it, of how you guys have started a cult, which I love, like a happy cult.
Right.
I've always wanted to be a cult leader.
So my mother, she texted me when she saw the tattoos being done on people. And she's like, have you created a cult? Like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know.
Everyone's getting branded.
Yeah.
So the story about how Groove became
And how long has it been
Rebel,
there? So it's 2020. So when did you become Rebel?
We launched the end of 2016, December of 2016.
And then you brought in a third. There was a third, Angela.
Okay, so back up to where we were at Hot Fitness, and they were telling us we couldn't call it Zumba anymore. Well, we could call it Zumba, but we weren't Zumba. So the studio we worked at, all the classes were like one name words. So we had to come up with one word that we thought described our class. So we picked Groove. And so we were Groove. And this was before Rebel. Then we went to Canyon at that little boutique gym. And that's where Angela stumbled into our classes there. And Angela approached us about taking it national and about doing more.
She, just like you, walked into the class, and she actually wasn't a big group fitness person. She was more into personal trainers and that sort of thing. Same as you. She always saw like the lights off, party lights going, music pumping. And she's like, what is going on in there?
She's like, they're not working out.
They're having too much fun.
Yeah, this is not a workout.
Her daughter was actually being trained by one of the trainers there at the gym for high school sports. And the trainer had brought her into Groove to get some cardio. ago. And so she went to pick up her daughter from the gym, and her daughter called her into class. So that's how she wandered into our class. And then she was in the back and she's doing it. And
she was not convinced either when she first started it. It was like, she's like, I am wearing a calorie counter and I'm going to prove that this isn't a workout. Like she was totally almost like against it being a real workout.
She was really trying to debunk it for sure. Yeah. And I think in her head, it's because she's like, they've got something here, but this can't possibly actually work.
This can't be better than spin or whatever. Yeah.
And so she, after classes, was realizing she was actually burning more calories than spin classes and
Didn't
other
she burn
classes.
something like 700 calories or something?
Yeah. And so she's like, this cannot be right. So she would try to kill herself in other fitness format classes, trying to see if her calorie counter was off. And it wasn't. And it was fun. And she's like, how is this possible? Fast forward a little bit. Ashleigh was moving back to Atlanta. And we thought
this was all happening in Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this was 2016-ish, like 2015, 2016 is when I found out I was moving back here to Atlanta.
And so at the time, Angel had been going to classes and she'd been kind of like getting to know us a little bit, but we didn't realize that she had in her mind that she wanted to approach us to talk about taking this national. And so when she found out that Ashleigh was leaving, it was kind of like, it was another place where like, this is going to die, another time.
Right. Exactly.
It's not going to. Angela, she sat us down and she's like, so have you thought about doing anything with us? We're like, not really. It's a passion of ours. We enjoy it. We would do it for free. She's like, let's give it a shot. And we all partnered together and we created Rebel. We branded it. That's the name of our company. And Groove is our dance fitness format. Strength is our choreographed sculpting format. We added that in when we branded because we also, as trainers, feel it's important that you cross train instead of referring people to like bar classes or Pilates classes, things of that nature, that we would create a strength training format, strength and resistance training format that mimicked the type of environment that Groove was, which was loud music, do it in that lighting, make it not feel like working out. And we saw huge changes when we did that in our students' bodies.
And our own. My gosh. Strength was like that was the kick.
Y'all are jacked. Y'all are both really lean, but very, very strong.
Well, and we feel like, and that's all we do. We feel like people ask us all the time, what else do you guys do? You have to do something else. And we don't. I mean, what you see us do is what we do. And it's because we're creating muscle through the strength program, and it's high rep, low rate weight. So it's very much the dancer style of work. It creates long, lean muscles. Right. And then the cardio burns the fat off those muscles. So
you guys also have a nutrition component, at least from the community side of it. Like, so you have a subscription base, so people can subscribe and they can cast their videos or whatever onto the TV wherever they are. But I like that you can't outwork a bad diet.
You really can't.
It's so true.
I've come back from Atlanta filming and we're working hard, but we are like, let's go. I found
some nachos.
I found some gluten-free fried chicken here. Do you know how long it's been since I've had fried chicken?
So good.
I actually have celiac, so I have to eat gluten-free. Okay. But no, I mean, we'll find all the junk. I mean, we do. I've come back weighing 7 pounds more.
I know that's pretty impressive. But so our nutrition piece
must be some good wings.
Oh my gosh, Richard's, it's right over there in Clark Street.
Oh yeah,
it's so good. Our nutrition, we call it Eat Like a Rebel. Mm-hmm. So it's not like anything prescribed, and we're not nutritionists, but we just kind of tell people like how we eat. So it's more of like guidelines rather than us telling you. Like we always say, go to a doctor, consult a doctor before you are.
Well, the reason how it even came about was Ashleigh and I get asked all the time, what do you eat? Yeah. All the time. Awesome. And so that's why we created Eat Like a Rebel. It's like, okay, well, we're just going to put out there what it is we eat. What does our diet look like?
And champagne.
I mean,
that's kind of my diet.
I know. It's like, oh, it's 9:00. I think that's how it goes.
That's how the Eat Like a Rebel is. And we have annual fitness challenges in our Rebel Nation group.
We have one coming up in May. So we do 2 a year. We do little black dress challenge So we do that right before the holidays. Like you can like get through the holidays without gaining the weight, hopefully. And then May, we do May Day Challenge. So that's a fun one too, because it's like right before the summer. Again, people are trying to
Getting ready for those.
get into their best
Summer
bod.
bodies.
Exactly. So, and they're usually 6 weeks.
Yeah, and we also create special workouts for those as well that we put on our website. And
Is that part of the subscription base or
Yeah.
just
it is. But the component that's in our Facebook community group is the accountability. It's us sort of talking you through
The community there.
Yeah, talking you through the challenge, giving you mini challenges, connecting people. I mean, it's been our challenges are so much fun, and everyone has such a blast sharing their successes or their failures, even if they need some support and encouragement. It's a safe place. We monitor our group very tightly. We love that people across the United States are getting to know each other.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah,
It's the neatest thing.
Yeah.
But I want to hear about the components of the subscription, or at least the community behind what you can do with it. This, I think, is astounding that you run this business across the country. You're like long distance business partners.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, as I gather, one of you will go out west and one of you will come out
Yes.
every few weeks or once a month or whatever to Atlanta and continue building these videos. But what I think is really interesting is how it's proliferated with your instructor training, and that it's not just here in Atlanta or in Denver, but
Right.
you have people in North Carolina and Texas and Nashville and in Florida
Right.
and this whole
Vancouver
community thing.
even.
So tell me how the instructor training works, and what are your plans for growth? What is your hope to do with this?
When we first started, we weren't even sure that we were an online format. It wasn't even an instructor based format. That kind of came a little later. And we had our first training, I guess you want to call it that. We really didn't have a training, our first training, but girls that had been teaching the format, like helping sub our classes, we started finding out that while we're traveling, we needed subs. You know, we needed someone to hold down the fort. So our first training was kind of girls that had already been doing it, and we sort of just kind of grandfathered them in
Yeah, they already had a bunch of them had a background in fitness or dance
and been coming to
so-
classes.
And they knew all of our material. And so we needed to create content for our on-demand classes. And so they were in the videos with us. And that was kind of our first beta test training. And then from there,
Our first training was in Colorado. Yeah.
every training that we've had since has grown, every single one. And it's been crazy. The community of instructors, and it's just getting bigger. And it's great because the online component actually serves really well as a learning tool for these instructors, students in their classes. So when you walk into a class and you are getting, 16, 17, 18 songs thrown at you in 60 minutes, that's a tough learning curve, especially if you're standing in the back. And so what we offer that most dance fitness formats don't is that can become a subscriber online and learn these routines. And then when you go into class, you can freaking rock it, get that sweat on, you feel more confident, which creates more success in the class, which creates a bigger class for you as an instructor. So we really encourage our instructors to get their students involved in our online because they're finding that it really builds not only a strong community in their class, but also personal success.
How do you help people? So let's say they get certified, they're not in Atlanta, or they are in Atlanta or Denver, where there's a lot of representation of this class. How do you facilitate them finding gyms or facilities that are going to be able to host them to teach rebel classes?
So what we have found, well, with our instructors, we do a lot of coaching on how to audition, how to present the brand, all of that, because we are fairly new to a lot of gyms. We have found that our instructors have been super successful with going into auditions with this material, and the gyms are loving it, and they're giving them a chance, and then we're getting our foot in the door. But then also,
Well, there's a lot of studios and like boutique style places. And we're working on some of the bigger chain gyms right now. So we're in Vasa, which is a West Coast type gym, sort of like a Lifetime or something, like a big gym. We have a lot of girls there. But we are working on, that's like in our goals this year, because we have all these instructors.
You need a salesperson.
I know. We talked about
we
this.
just this week we just got confirmation that we have an instructor starting at Choose, which I don't know if Choose is out
We
here.
don't have Choose.
don't know what
We
that
need
is.
like a little LA Fitness, and like we need some Lifetime up here in Atlanta.
Yeah. But we are launching in new gyms on a weekly basis. It's been crazy how fast it's been spreading, and in a lot of them chain gyms. So what we thought was really a boutique format, that the chain gyms are picking up, and we love it because our instructors are like, how can we create this, boutique feel that you guys have in these studios in like a huge group fitness room at a big chain gym? And it really kind of started with one of the instructors in Colorado, who was the first one to get hired with Vasa. And she flipped the lights out. She went on Amazon, bought four DJ lights, uplit the corners of the room, and it kind of washed over the ceiling, and it totally changes the look of that room.
Sherry.
So shout out to Sherry. Hey, Sherry. But she really kind of launched that feel in a large gym, and it works. They have now hired, at that location, like 5 more instructors, and it's spread throughout other locations.
And we really like take the time. So when we're traveling, so she comes here to film Groove because I can't do it at altitude anymore. So when I'm here, or when she's here or I'm there, we always do instructor lives. So we go into we have an instructor group on Facebook, very similar to the Rebel Nation group, where we like mentor our instructors. So like we have a live today at 4 actually. And so we'll go on there and we answer questions and we talk about different things, different topics. Sometimes it's like maybe how to do an audition, like what songs should you do and things like that. So we're trying to like offer, just support,
Like continuing
development
education.
phase. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So what I think is amazing, so when I've gone to the classes, there are 60 people in a room, and it's like all of the mirrors are completely fogged
right.
up,
I know, it's like a steam bath.
but somehow you make it work. And I think so I sit around and think about dumb stuff. And I was thinking about like a lot of the movements that you do, your arms are stretched out wide.
Right.
And what I think is so cool about that is that women never take the space to have their arms open wide.
Receiving.
And so, so every time that, even if it is just like the windmill or whatever it is,
Yeah.
I feel a power in that.
I love that.
And I imagine that other women do, but I don't think we ever take the space.
So interesting. Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Or even just your arms up, I think, the people in church that put their arms up like that.
Yes, the feeling it.
Yeah, like I would never do that, but I would love to feel that free to do that if I felt it anywhere.
And I think that's what it is. It's a freedom of just letting go and just it's like you putting your heart on the outside of your body at that point. And you're not so guarded anymore. You're just releasing all of that.
I don't think you realize how powerful it is just to put your arms out.
I love that.
And even like that whole thing is really amazing and
movement,
freeing.
right?
Well, we talk about that in our trainings with our instructors, delivery of movement and extension, and how important it is, because there is a different level when you take it to that different level of just being strong, I think is really what it is.
Yeah. But I also think, you said the demographic is a lot of moms.
Right.
And there are all different types of people, different ages. I was amazed. I'm amazed.
Moms.
So, I think what's amazing is that you actually have classes at 11:30 and on Monday and Thursday mornings.
Right.
They're freaking packed like they are Saturday. I'm like, don't these people work? And meanwhile, I'm there.
You know what?
Taking a day, taking a break from work.
It started not like that. When I moved back here, like nobody knew Groove and nobody knew Rebel, and I had to find a place to teach. And that little 11:30 class had like 3 people in it just like 2 years ago. So it's awesome.
And that was a whole thing for her, because she came from Colorado, where we've been entrenched in this for years in Colorado, and it's got a huge following there. We're teaching classes of 60 plus people, and then she moves and has to start over again.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story with her.
That was humbling.
At least you knew what was possible, though. To be able to do it one place.
I hoped. I was in a bad place when I moved back here. I've been back here now for like 3 years, and I feel like I'm finally settled, but it took a couple.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was dragged out to Colorado and then I was dragged back. So it took some time, but I do feel like Dance 101 is, where I teach now is like my home and the community there, and it's strong. And I feel that now, but it took a minute.
No, but it's really good because we've been through a lot of different experiences personally and can speak to our instructors in different ways. And for her, we get these instructors who are frustrated because they have 3 people in a class, and she can speak to them of, well, let me tell you, I went from here to here, and this is how much work I had to put into it to get it to here. I think sometimes they feel like there's going to be a built-in class, and that's not the case. It's hard work.
Yeah, you do. People do think that. And when you're up there and you're teaching in front of 3 people, it's funny because when you teach a dance fitness class, it's almost like you're hosting a party and you're inviting all these people, and it's like 3 people show up, and it's really hard not to like wear that emotion, especially when you're dancing, because it is such an emotional thing, so powerful. And so teaching to 3 people, it's like, how can I not let myself get in that headspace? I have to be like, there's 50 people in this room. This is amazing. Really try to like ramp myself up like that in order to get those 3 people to tell 3 people. And so, yeah, but it works.
We've been excited to see this format work in so many different types of places with so many different instructors. I mean, our instructors, yes, we provide the choreography for them, but they all have different styles and personalities, and we love seeing their students connect with them, and it becomes successful in these different places.
I think that's what's cool too, is that you can create your own style. It doesn't have to be exactly like you guys do.
Yeah.
So I was at a conference this past weekend, and there was a woman that was talking about this part of your body, like the sacral part, and that women just doing like hip movements, and this was not in the form of dance. I think she might have been a yoga instructor or something. But she was saying how powerful it is that it is your creative center. That's where you have children, and just giving some kind of platform to be able to move your body in that way is so freeing. And, not to exclude anybody who is not a mother or parent, I feel like being a mom is like a superpower. I think very often if you want something, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy mom.
Yes.
And I think being able to layer this dance class, that kind of unlocks your ability to say yes to things that you may have been fearful of.
Yeah. Totally.
I think it really translates outside of the dance studio in a way that it builds confidence. It helps in the bedroom, or if you're dating or something, I think it's a really powerful platform that you guys are doing.
Well, and we are finding too that there's been different uses. Some of our instructors have brought it to audiences that we never would have thought about. We've got an instructor who works as a teacher in the high schools, and she has been teaching it to her students as a way to connect them to combat teen suicide, which is such a, huge epidemic right now.
Wow.
Creating that sense of empowerment, of finding your voice, of feeling like you're in control, of releasing endorphins, and actually, talk about culture changers. I mean, she's creating rebel clubs, and we love to see this format being used in these different ways that we never dreamed would happen. We also had someone just pitch us creating a modified version of it for special needs families, working with their special needs kids, because dance fitness seems to work really well for that population. So we're working with her right now to explore that opportunity and that different way of using the format as well. So
that's amazing.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to see all of this little dance class that we created several years ago being used in these powerful ways.
And I'm wondering, I should probably ask this at the beginning of it, but what is your core mission?
We want everyone to experience what you've experienced.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like these people come in and it's a transformation. They come into class and they're in their frumpy t-shirt, like even Tammy from class, like she started coming to class, like she was heavier. She's wearing, I always tease her, I'm like, you wearing like a nightgown, like her t-shirt was like a nightgown. And, you see these people come in, they're quiet and they're reserved, and they like come out of their shell, and then they're up front and they're ripping their shirts off and they're feeling confident and they're feeling good. And that is, I think, what our mission is to get people in the class to be able to transform themselves, to have this awakening, and everybody do Rebel.
I feel like we're raising up an army almost. And I really love watching it, because these people are becoming no longer followers coaches, but leaders.
That's really powerful.
It really is. Like Erin Shepherd in class, the girl who's always on my right side, she is a perfect example. Like she came to class and I didn't even know who she was for the longest time, and she didn't talk to anybody. And now you see her up there. I mean, she's ripping and roaring up there. Like she's totally come alive. She's a totally different person.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing with
amazing.
The Sidious in my class. Like, this girl was in like long sleeves in
You've
the
seen
corner.
her on Rebel Nation, I'm sure.
She's an amazing photographer. She takes a lot of her photos now. She was this person who was hiding in class and now is just like up front. She's one who got a tattoo. She's up front. She's a different person. Crazy to see the transformations and kind of sets you back a little bit. And you're like, what is happening?
But it's so funny because I feel like people who know us well have said the same thing about us through this. Like, it's funny because I see pictures of myself, 10 years ago, and I'm like, who is that person? Like, I don't feel like I can even understand who I was, what I was thinking. And it's unbelievable.
It is crazy. Yeah.
And I know everyone that's close to us thinks we've changed a lot too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And we've gone through the same evolution that our students are going through. And that's exactly what we wanted when we started this is we want to give that space that we had, that opportunity that we had to become who we are. We want to give that to other people. And then they're giving that, they're becoming instructors and giving that to other people. And then and it's just like become this exponential thing. And it's been crazy to watch.
That's like a beautiful organic growth too.
It is. And our trainings are very, very different than other fitness trainings that we've both been to. Our trainings are like transferring this like emotional piece to our instructors and like letting them know that they have this responsibility now. Like we're passing this to you and this is what people are going to be like getting from you. And it's huge. And it really does. It is a lot. We really focus on that in our trainings with our instructors.
Yeah, so. It's not just a fitness training. It's almost like in the beginning, it's almost like a therapy session.
Oh yeah, everybody's crying. Like, oh my God, I was crying the whole time. I was in tears for like ever. Last training, I couldn't stop crying.
The stories we heard in our last training had Ashleigh and I looking at each other like, oh my
That's what I think is amazing because everybody has a story that'll bring you to their knees,
Everybody.
And I think that it's hard to give ourselves permission to feel joy.
Yes.
And so offering a space for that is where I feel like Rebel does such an amazing job to honor not only the story, but invite the joy and let it be okay.
That's right.
To feel joy, especially as a mother, especially as somebody who's got a lot of responsibilities and is trying to do things. People don't give themselves permission.
No, they don't. Especially mothers. I feel like it's hard. Like and I even find myself doing this, like we'll do some yoga classes. I'll do yoga to like stretch out my body, but I feel like there's always a million other things I should be doing and putting myself in that yoga. I know it's going to be better for me and I'm going to show up better for everyone, but going there and doing that, it's hard as a mom, because you feel guilty. You have that mom guilt. So, it's taking that time to go do something for yourself, like a couple of times a week, 1 hour, feeling the joy, getting the endorphins, getting that meditation time. It's imperative. Like we have to do that.
Well, it's just creating this whole community of people that are so much healthier internally as well as physically. But just internally has been huge. And it's amazing to me how these, like even our trainees, when they share the kinds of things that they shared with us, I think I was in shock that they felt that they were safe enough in that community to share.
I know.
And in those trainings, those trainees, they become friends.
Yeah.
It's really provided a place of belonging to a lot of people that don't feel like they belong anywhere.
Right. The classes are like that too.
Yes.
Like I have people come up to me and say, I've seen you in here. I haven't met you yet. Like you don't do that. Like even when you're coming and going. And so to feel that welcome.
Yeah.
And even Tammy, the welcome committee.
Yes, she is.
Like I think I had gone to a few classes and she's like, we have not met yet. And that is not good enough. Tell me, who are you? How did you get here? Is this your first class? We're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
And so it just,
out.
I think it's amazing community of people that are genuinely happy that you're there. And you somehow figure out how not to get in their spaces.
I know, right?
Even when you're putting your arms outstretched wide.
So how do people find you?
So our website is rebelfit.com. So Reb3lfit.com. And then we also have our social media. Our handles on Facebook and Instagram are Rebel Fitness. Again, Reb3l Fitness.
That 3 is tricky.
It is. If you're looking for live classes, we do have a class locator on our website. So you can type in your city or your zip code.
Oh, that's awesome.
Find some local classes. We also have on there trainings if you're interested in becoming an instructor. Our next training's in Atlanta at the Move Convention, April 26th.
I have signed up for it.
I heard about that. I'm so excited. And then our next training after that is in Dallas, May 2nd and 3rd at Shapes and Flower Mound. And I don't have my
We're
list in
tossing
front of me,
around
but we've
some
got-
ideas, I think, right now, what we're going to do.
Yep,
where we're
some
gonna go,
possibilities for some other places that we're working on right now as well. We just had a training in Colorado, which was our biggest yet. We're excited. We're definitely kind of launching into 2020 we're coming in hot.
Just like a fajita.
I just felt that Ashleigh and Tricia were so relatable, didn't you? I've linked everything in the show notes, including the promo code for a free month. Promo code is AHARE, AHARE. And honestly, once you try it, I would love to hear your feedback. Text me at 470-242-6311 and let me know what you thought, or if you prefer, connect with me on Insta. I've linked it in the show notes. But I hope you subscribe to my podcast, leave a rating and review. It helps people find me and really helps me shape future shows that will only get better with your input. Culture changing is really a movement, but only works when the ideas are shared. So thanks for listening, and I will see you next week.